this idea that has plagued the white positive sphere ever since I've been in it. It is, thank the good Lord, dying. But this, and it plagues general society as well. This idea that the more degrees an academic has or an intellectual has, the more correct they must be. No one who doesn't have a similar number of degrees can challenge somebody who has more degrees. This is this academic snobbery, and we've seen it for a long time in the white positive sphere. I mean, we even had scenarios where we had academics in the white positive sphere that said, well, we have all of the thinkers now. We have all of these academics and these institutions with prestigious names. Now what we need are the rabble in the streets to talk about everyone else out there. Well, bravo Sierra to that. I don't give a damn how many degrees you have. I don't care how much of an academic peacock you are. You have to make an argument that defeats the arguments that I'm making. If you can't, then you are wrong. If in the application of what you are doing, you are wanting compared to what I'm doing, then you are wrong. And all of those people out there over the years who have sided with academics because they had all of these degrees and they had they're emaciated and their faces stuck in a book all day long, you all can go straight to hell, because you have prevented people like myself who have made cogent arguments that were superior to the arguments that academics were making. You have prevented us from speaking. This is the same sort of licensure that society has built up for every sort of trade to prevent people from coming in and competing with those who are already involved or at the top, as we see with these academics. It's the same sort of phenomenon, this academic snobbery. So you either make a cogent argument that defeats what I've said, or shut the hell up. I do not give a damn. I have a degree. I graduate, and it might not be, you know, maybe yours is in philosophy, and I was in business, and I 3.98, and I've demonstrated quite a bit of talent over the years, accomplishment, every single job I've been in, breaking records, setting records in business, in sales, in management, breaking records in sports. I've done well everywhere I go. So just because you have had your face stuck in a book somewhere and now come out from your little hole, your little hobbit hole, and you want to give some advice to the rest of us, doesn't make you right. You have to present an argument for your case. And so that's what I think is happening with many of these academics now. Maybe Renaud Camus is right. Maybe his argument is, his position is superior to mine. Time will tell. Results will show, won't they? And I will always bow to whatever is working best for white well-being. That's always been my position. But certainly when it comes to this statement, the great replacement used by the general population is asinine. It is deleterious. It will undermine our efforts for white well-being. And all of us need to be on the lookout for this weakness. This is called the appeal to authority fallacy. The appeal to authority fallacy. We all need to be on the lookout for someone shows up, academic peacock, and then suddenly there are folks who are thought leaders, or they think themselves leaders in some way, shape, or form, content producers or what have you, and then they suddenly say, no one can contradict, no one can argue with, no one can say anything to contest. And by the same token, ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking about holding conferences, this has happened in the white positive sphere, and it really gets me animated, and I'm going to just take a moment to get really pissed off about this. You are not going to be accepted because you have more academics at your conference than somebody else. The anti-whites don't give a shit how many emaciated, feckless, nose, deep in the book academics you have show up to speak. They are still going to oppose everything you say. They are still going to use violence. You have no recourse to say, well, how dare they? The public must side with me because we just have these absolutely skeletal academics. They couldn't be less offensive coming to speak at our conference. A, it doesn't make you or them right. B, it's not going to guarantee anything. It's not going to buy you any immunity. Stop looking to these individuals. There are plenty of academics out there who have wonderful things to offer. Just like there are folks who are not academics, have wonderful things to offer. But these individuals are not the godsend that people think they are. This is just the appeal to authority. Then everybody ends up giving this laser attention to these folks, and things go down the drains. I have personally experienced being in successful endeavors that have been undermined by academics working on utterly feckless, dickless things. And then everything goes down the toilet because of them. And because of this appeal to this authority that is always a fallacy. So I don't care how old you are. I don't care how gray your beard. I don't care how many books you've read and how many degrees you have in whatever fields they are in. You better make an argument that defeats the success that we're having, or shut up. And if you're putting conferences together, and if you're out there thinking we need more of this or more of that, you better check yourself and ask, am I doing something here that is undermining white well-being? Am I putting faith in someone who doesn't actually have something of value to share with the broad masses of our people, simply because they descend from some ivory tower? And then I'm going to ask you, if you're doing this, how dumb really are you? Because the vast majority of academics out there are anti-white. So if you're going to go out to your mothers and brothers and sisters, friends and colleagues, family members of every stripe, and say, this person has to be right because look at their degrees, they're going to have 100-fold that for anti-whites. 100-fold, 1,000-fold for every one academic you can put forward. Don't use these arguments anymore. The appeal to authority is a fallacy. And not only that, it has failed us every single time. These are the people, when I've talked about, saying, oh no, Jason, can't have you talking to the folks and doing all of this good work that you're doing for people. Can't have you doing that because you use language that isn't approved by academia. And who controls academia? The anti-whites. Who controlled the speech that came out of Camus' mouth when he came up with the Great Replacement? The anti-whites. So that needed to